It is 6:45 p.m. the same day, and guess what? I am in Las Vegas, baby, and this is my couchsurfing host, Michelle. Michelle, hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
And this is her dog. His name is Moses. His name is Moses, and he's going after a squirrel or something. I don't know. Anyways, Michelle, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from? Okay, you know, what brought you to Las Vegas? What is Las Vegas for you?
Okay, I am from Salt Lake City and I moved to Vegas.
Utah, right?
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay.
And my whole family is from Salt Lake City, Utah. And I moved here because I got engaged.
Okay.
And I lived here for 8.5 years.
8.5 years?
Yes.
All right. And you are a jeweler.
I am a jeweler.
What kind of jewelry do you create, Michelle?
I mostly create fine art gold pieces mostly.
What is Las Vegas for you compared to any places you've been? What? A parking lot?
Parking lot.
With a huge mall next to it, or
Yeah.
or a casino?
It just seems like there's a lot of the same things, but there are some really amazing, beautiful places here.
Mm-hmm. What are people like in your perception? Like, you know, Las Vegans compared to, I don't know, you said you were born in Salt Lake City.
Here, I thought they were very superficial.
Mm-hmm.
But now being part of more of a community, once you get into like the community parts of Vegas, people are very normal and very real.
And this is your first time hosting someone for couchsurfing. So, and I want to thank you and welcome you to couchsurfing.
Okay.
You know, thank you for hosting me, and you know, I'm looking forward to having a really good time in Las Vegas.
Me too. I hope
Thank you so
too.
much. Guess what? Michelle introduced me to her friend, really good friend, Jay. This is Jay, and hello Jay.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. He is originally from New York City. New York, baby. It was so nice they named it twice. And he has been living in Las Vegas for the past 14 years. But he's lived in like many parts of the country. He left his family when he was 18 years old, and he went to Wisconsin as well, right?
Yeah, good memory.
And you know what else? You know what else? He has an airplane, like one of those like airplanes you can fly with GPS and like iPad and whatnot and everything. It's amazing. So we are in Fremont right now. If you can see, this is Fremont. It's a really touristic area. There's people jumping from like, what do you call this? Bungee jumping?
Zip line.
Zip lining. Now, you've been here for 14 years. What is Las Vegas to you?
A collection of discontent people who find more acceptance here than in most progressive cities, and so it's sort of a sewer.
Really? In that regard?
Yeah, if the Tourism Bureau is watching, I'm sorry, but you know, it's a nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live here unless you have no moral fiber.
I see. And why did you come here?
I wanted to get as close as I could to California and have a big house I could afford.
Okay.
And I had friends in California, and real estate was cheap, and I didn't know how alienating a place it was at the time, and I now have a beautiful house and it's hard to leave because I'm lazy. Well, it became a destination when it was promoted in the mid-50s, when Bugsy Siegel came up with the idea to build a big casino here. It was originally a flop, and it lost a ton of money for the mob, so they shot him. And then they kept the hotel open, and they brought the mob in with more money, and they built some more hotels, and then it did catch on. Because they got the stars to come down here and hang out and stay and perform like back in the Dean Martin days and things like that. Yeah. But I'm not an expert. Check out the movie Bugsy for more details.
I see. So this is the original sign that was erected in 1959. And that was pretty much the birth of Las Vegas. What's the story with this building?
This building was called the Fountain Blue. Yeah. It was going to be the newest and biggest hotel. They got funding for it during the boom. They built it this far, but the remaining, what it would cost to finish it, the company decided isn't worth putting into it because it would be too much of a loss because tourism is down and they don't think they can recoup the money. So they sold it for super cheap to the guy who owns American Airlines, Carl Icahn, or used to own American Airlines, and he was going to sit on it until it was a good economic time to finish it. But they did a study and they found that exposed steel can't be legally exposed for more than a certain number of months, and it's been sitting for so long that it's now illegal and cannot be given an occupancy certificate, so they're going to tear it down and sell it for
Because it's
scrap.
rusting, right?
They speculate. It's just the law. They don't really know what the effective exposure on steel is, but by law they can't take the risk, and so they're going to scrap it.
So they're gonna demolish it?
Yeah.
Just like the casino buildings that they
But it never even opened. I mean, they put a
Exactly.
$1.7 billion in and they're going to demolish it. Take a look
Oh
at
my
it.
God.
It's pretty amazing. Look at the work. And it's been sitting like that for the better part of a year now, I think.
Wow.
In its present scaffolded state.
Huh. When did they build it in the beginning? When did they start?
Like about a year and a half ago, I think.
Wow.
Maybe
Really?
2 years ago.
So it's worth to demolish it than to continue doing it.
Well, the guy who bought it thinks he'll still make a profit because the scrap steel is worth as much as he paid. He only paid like 10 cents on the dollar. He paid like 170 million or 80 million or something for it.
Wow.
He thinks he can sell the scrap materials for enough to make a profit. But the investors who invested the 1.7 billion to build it are just SOL. They're getting nothing.
They're just lost, at a loss. Yeah.
And we've got another ghost project that's coming up on the right that was supposed to be the biggest thing in town.
Where? That thing
You'll
up
see
there?
this empty lot. You'll see the steel infrastructure in a minute.
Yeah.
It was going to be called Echelon Place. They blew up 3 hotels to make room for it, and then they put up the infrastructure, and then they decided. See this? Yeah. See that ghost infrastructure right there?
Yeah.
All
yeah.
that's been sitting unchanged for several years now. This was going to be one of the biggest, most luxurious new communities, and it's now just going to sit forever.
So yeah, they're not blowing that up though. They're
going to tear it down at some point.
You
but
think
it's not
so?
a hazard, so they're leaving it sit there. They're not going to be able to finish it. It's got rusted steel. So
You know, I'm curious. How did they blow up the buildings? Like demolish them without, altering all the other buildings nearby? Do they have some kind of
Very
screens or
carefully.
something?
They say it's a real science, but when you look at the World Trade Center collapse, where nobody
exactly.
did anything except let it collapse, it seemed to do just as well as the professionally blown up buildings, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it's easier than people think. But anyway, carefully set explosives cause it to fall inward on itself. I've been here for
But
all of the
the
big
dust,
demolitions.
though. No, the dust I'm talking about.
That just gets in the air with the rest of the crap.
So all the buildings nearby gets
I was in a complete blackout when they blew up the dunes. They measured the wind wrong and it blew all the dust right to where we were watching from, and it was black. You'd have to reach out in front of you to feel where the person was just to know what's around you. It was terrifying.
Yeah, and all the breathing.
I was smart enough to bring a mask from Home Depot. Most people were collapsing from the dust, but I brought some of those Home Depot construction masks.
Huh. Look at that.
I've seen a lot of demolitions here.
Yeah.
The dunes.
So is it like
lad.
some kind of superstitious thing that they would blow up the building in case if it's not too many people go there or something, to gamble?
You mean why did they blew it up so they could make room to build a newer building? There were other hotels on all these sites. Now here's the strip where it starts to be really new and successful. Right at this corner, this is the Wynn, the Palazzo. These are all the big successful hotels that were built recently to replace the old Vegas.
Yeah.
And these are all, sort of
And you said
over the top.
In the year 2000 there was a boom, right? You said.
Yeah. Look at this weird sculpture in front of the fashion show mall. It has no
was
purpose.
curious about it.
It's just a gigantic, attention-getting flying saucer-looking thing.
Yeah. At first, I thought it was a button.
When they were building it, I thought it was an incredible waste of whatever it was, and I still do. But I couldn't imagine what they were going to do with it, and that's
Don't
what
you
they
think
did.
that most of that's what it is?
But this seemed colossally worse because it doesn't do
Huge.
anything. You can't live in it or eat in it or.
Yeah, it's
sit
just
on
for
top of
look.
it. It's just.
Yeah.
It's
It
just a
provides ample amounts of shade.
For sure.
big. Yeah, and
To hide.
so
in the desert.
driving down the strip isn't bad. The traffic's not bad. You'll get to see the entire strip, and at night you wouldn't recognize. Would you like to eat in a completely black environment? Not be able to see anything you're doing? Well, there are restaurants where you can do that now. Eclipse Dining offers a full course meal with in complete darkness.
In complete darkness.
Yes.
So they have assistants helping you.
They
I hope.
have advisors who give you some guidelines and
They just whisper,
and probably have
into your
night
ears.
goggles on so they can tell if you're going to do something really catastrophic.
Right.
But
And the forks are plastic or like rubber.
I believe they give you genuinely dangerous utensils and expect you to exercise good judgment, but I don't know for sure.
And it's in pitch black darkness.
Pitch black, absolutely.
Oh my god. It's called Eclipse Dining.
And yes, and they have it in many major cities, for sure in San Francisco, and I guarantee you in New York and here.
And you tried it, you said?
No, we discussed it, but we haven't tried it.
Okay.
We are anticipating trying it.
Right.
I'm a little apprehensive about it, but I would try. I would like to.
And
try
there's a
something
menu
on that.
too. You get to choose what you eat. It's not like a surprise at every
No, you
corner.
have to point. And you have to eat. Yeah, you just have
You
to
point in the dark, and they give you whatever you point at. No,
This is
yes, there's a menu. But I believe they serve us fixed meal. They show you. It's a 5-course meal, and they show you up front what it's going to be, and when you decide you're going to go for it.
I see.
It's a salad for sure, and an appetizer, vegetables, a meat course, and a dessert.
If all else fails, just use your fingers.
And yes, that's if you feel Ethiopian.
Ethiopian.
Well, if nobody can see you, I don't know if it matters.
Okay,
So what is Las Vegas for you? I mean, or the people.
I feel Las Vegas has a very low integrity level overall, and I think there's sound economic and socioeconomic reasons for it. For one thing, it's a city that makes its living on addiction and poor behavior, because gambling generally, is a drain on people's lives, and yet it's something that's celebrated here. And I think that addictions are more common here, and poor behavior like non-punctuality, alcoholism, cigarette smoking, lying, obesity, are all
Plumbing,
more present. And no, I remember. And there's just the overall level of low integrity allows people who have low integrity to be the norm, and so they're not shunned, and they're able to function here better than they would be elsewhere. A contractor who never showed up for his appointments in a city like New York or San Francisco would never be called again. He'd have to either be homeless or relocate. But here, the entire contracting community has a level of irresponsibility. People feel no matter who they call, they're going to get shoddy workmanship. So shoddy workmanship is tolerated, and shoddy workers can be here. And it's pervasive, it's in my opinion. But particularly, bad habits about dishonesty. People are generally more dishonest themselves, and therefore more tolerant of dishonesty, non-punctuality. Again,
It's like a melting pot.
Alcohol, cigarettes, opportunism, especially too. I don't think people frown here on gold diggers, for example. Men feeling resentful of women they have to pay bills for, and women feeling like they're entitled to be supported if they're attractive enough, because
I see.
I guess superficiality is very high.
Yeah.
But just about any trait where there's a scale of more integrity and less integrity, I think the overall integrity here is lower, and therefore people with low integrity feel more comfortable here. So if they come to visit, they probably feel that they would be better tolerated, they're more likely to relocate here. And someone like myself with high integrity would be frustrated by the low integrity and would relocate.
And yet again, you've been here for 14 years.
I'm an exception.
How did you tackle this?
I tackled it by being comfortable with isolation, but now that I am reaching out, I want to be part of the community. I feel that there would be a much stronger community to be part of in a city with more social and civic consciousness, and generally more generally benevolent and worldly views.
Yeah, I see.
So I think it's a repository for low integrity.
Do you think it happened because Las Vegas has been kind of like stereotyped as Sin City, and that's why it's like people kind of like, there's, I can be just completely, not integral or not honest in everything I do.
I think it's a combination of low integrity gravitating to low integrity in conjunction with sort of Darwinism. I mean, the fact that it's a tourist place and a lot of people come to see it. Bring people here who then realize that they don't have to be as adhere to as high a standard as they did elsewhere.
Right.
In order to be part of the norm here, and they decide, heck, I'll stay.
Yeah.
Also, it's a place where there isn't the normal work ethic. People who are hoping that they'll be able to succeed in life without having to pay the dues or do the work to be successful. In Las Vegas, that mentality is encouraged. Everywhere they go, there's a billboard or a sign on a taxi cab showing someone who hit a jackpot, and they think, oh, well, I don't have to work, I'll just hit a jackpot.
And that's basically, paying.
Whereas if they were in New York and someone said, what do you plan to do for a living? And they said, oh, I'm going to hit a jackpot. They'd say, well, you better have another plan.
Yeah.
Here they'll say, oh, good luck, and
it's more acceptable.
Here, let me buy you a drink.
Yeah.
So I think as soon as people experience that and they feel that instead of being criticized for their bad values, they're actually accepted, they say they're more likely to settle here. And as a result,
money is the kind of the most the summit that everyone strives.
Well, I think for men, money is the summit, and for women, marketability is the summit. All women want to be prized in a way that somebody with money will shower them with it or expose their vulnerability sufficiently so they can take it away from them. Or
be owned, essentially. The women owned by men.
I think they rebel bitterly against the concept of being owned. I think they want to turn the tables. I think they want to be able to get the money without
because if there's a sugar daddy, then the sugar daddy feels like owning this doll, right?
Well,
for paying everything for her, right?
Right. Well, some women are comfortable with that, but most of them want to sort of lure the man into a position of vulnerability, and then take the money and not have to put up with the man.
I see.
Unless it's the one in 100 men that they actually think they'd like to have come with it.
Right. What attracted you in the first place to come to Las Vegas and settling for 14 years?
I didn't ever feel that good about Las Vegas, but I always wanted to be close to California. I always felt really strongly about California as the mecca of good values and good political.
So what kept you here?
Well, the choices would have been to retreat to Albuquerque, which I had already lived in for 15 years and be somewhat bored.
Yeah.
Or stay here and try to extend my life over to California, which was very viable when my friend Steve was alive and in Los Angeles, because with my airplane and his resources, I was able to basically be a two-state resident. When I needed the space to have a home of my own of some size, I could come back here. When I wanted the sophistication and connections and people values, I could go to Los Angeles. But shortly after moving here, he committed suicide.
All right.
And that cut my really easy access to California lifestyle, because I didn't have any place to stay, and I didn't have strong friends who I could stay in touch with in California.
Right.
But I didn't leave here for a variety of reasons. The main one is because I love my home. I'm not in a position financially to have the kind of freedom and space that I have. I have a half acre, and I can go out with no clothes on and go to their bathroom and walk around naked and feel like I own a piece of the country that that's mine.
Yeah.
And the kind of living facility I would have if I lived in a place that's more suitable to my mentality, which would basically be an upscale city, Los Angeles, San Francisco.
Yeah.
I would have to live in a very small apartment with very little space, and I think having grown up always seeking more and more
in
land.
In a way you kind of spoiled already.
The confinement of the space would be oppressive.
Yeah.
And I'm also concerned with that because of my age. Possibly my inability to integrate in Las Vegas was only partially because of the lower caliber of individual here. It's also part of the fact that as people get older, their mobility declines and the mobility of their peer group declines, and their lives become more set in their ways. And I have not found a group of people in Las Vegas that I can consider peers. People my own age seem way too staid and into a lifestyle that I wouldn't want to be a part of, like playing bridge one night a week or something like that. And the people in a lifestyle my age, in a lifestyle like mine who are far younger than me, and I feel that they have enough friends to go around, and I feel a little strange, socializing with people half my age, even though typically they find me a great companion, they find that we have everything in common. It's just, there are places where people trade on actual substance rather than superficiality. So I just haven't found a place where people like-minded like myself, who are younger and in the same kind of adventure state that I am, can be found in a large enough quantity to make those kinds of friends. So I feel alienated here, and I know when I travel, maybe partially because I'm a tourist, but I think more because there's more cultural development in other places, I find those people easily, and age is not a barrier. When I'm in San Francisco and go to a club, I find myself talking about politics and talking about making the world a better place, and there's a connection right away. Here, even if I do find someone who's intelligent, if I try to strike up a conversation about politics or the environment, they usually think this guy's crazy. Why would I, they really want to strike up a conversation about gambling or smoking or drinking or dancing, and so it's just more difficult to make connections. And I hope it's partially the community, because I hope I'm not going to be destined to not be able to make connections because of my age, regardless of where I live. But I won't know that for sure unless I relocate at this late age, which is definitely high on my priority list. Either that or travel more, and then I'll be able to get to the essence of what's going on without having to necessarily give up everything to get the answer.
I am with the friend of Michelle, Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hi.
And guess what? This is his little airplane that he owns. And like, imagine like you can just park your airplane here for like $100 a month in the shade. And it's a 1976, right? 1978 Mooney 201, and it's a 4-cylinder plane, and it's got only one propeller. Look at that. You see that? And you can fly to, like, how long do you think it's gonna take to fly to New York from here, if you were to fly?
If I flew about 12 flying hours total.
Yeah.
So I'd probably break it into 2 days.
Yeah.
If I wanted to go direct.
Oh, it would take 2 days of flying.
Well, you can do the math. It flies about 185 miles an hour, so it flies straight. So you can figure out how long it takes to.
So you gotta to get inside. You gotta step on the wing.
You go from the back of the wing where the.
That's the.
Walk up the wing.
Okay.
You can walk up. Just don't step on the white little piece.
Yes.
Just start from the black.
Look at that.
All the black is safe.
And it's like a bird. So here, right?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Look at that. This is like one of those.
It's primitive. If you need light, you can pull that.
Yeah, it's okay. I think it's. So you can sit 4 people here. So the pilot, where does the pilot sit? Here?
On the left, yes.
Yeah, just like in a car. It looks like a car, actually. It's just a small car with wings.
Exactly.
You see?
It's a small car with wings.
Small car with wings, and there's like a little storage back there, right? It's like a trunk of some
that's
sort.
where the luggage goes. That's all the luggage.
Yeah. Mooney, huh? And fuel? Oh, I thought it was a fuel, it's a drain for fuel.
And it's the selector between the 2 tanks. You have to switch between the 2 tanks manually.
It's got 2 tanks too.
In the wing, here's a tank right here.
That's
the filler. That's the filler.
That's
the gas is in the wing.
It's in the wing.
The whole the whole wing is hollow, full of gas.
Wow. And you said this industry is dying, like the personal plane transportation.
This company is out of business. They don't make these planes anymore.
Oh, wow.
And the sales on planes, they used to make 3,000 or 4,000 small 4-seaters a year. Now they make less than 100 between all the companies practically.
And how much would a plane like this, or maybe like in this shape, would go for, like nowadays? If you were buy,
it's way down nowadays. You could buy this plane or one like it for probably $80,000.
Really?
I used one in this.
I used one, right.
In good condition.
In this condition,
you could buy most of these other planes for under $50,000. This is a very nice one. Those are bonanzas. But you could buy that one down there, that 172, for under $40,000. The one
Which
that says 9560W.
Yeah.
The white one with the faded stripe. That's a Cessna.
For $40,000
or less. I bought my first plane for $5,000. My second plane for
5,000.
Yeah, for
and
a
you can fly.
Two-seater. Yeah, and my second plane for 14,000. And this plane I paid 62,000.
Why planes?
It had no time at all on it.
What inspired you?
I was scared to fly in commercial planes, and I thought if I became
you figured
I'm
gonna trust myself with this thing.
Scared.
And no time for like checking in the bags and all that.
And yeah, it was before the security thing. Now it takes so long for security. It's really nice to have your own plane if you're going someplace close.
Yeah, you can land in JFK, right? You said.
I could, but a lot of airports.
They would charge you like $100. Yeah.
But I can. There's a lot of airports around New York. I could though. Teterboro is close by.
I see. And you said on this plane you can cross the Atlantic Ocean at some point?
If you want to go, yes.
The fuel.
If you want to go all the way up to Nova Scotia and then cross over to Iceland, you can go from Nova Scotia to Iceland to England.
Yeah.
To Scotland or somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's.
And you would need like to put some gasoline on the back seats or something, right? Like.
To go to England, you can make it with just the jumping points I told you with the gas that it carries. If you want to go to Hawaii
6 hours.
or cross the Pacific, to cross the Pacific, you would need to have extra tanks in the back seat.
Yeah, yeah. And you would just like run the cables into the wing or something?
There's professional equipment to make sure that it's safe.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Is there anything else you want to tell about this? Like, how long did it take you to become licensed and everything?
It took me in real time, about 7 months. And in hours, only about 65, 70 hours total, but I spread it out over 7 months.
I see. Look at that. And this is like odometer or altimeter?
That's the compass. Shows the direction.
Oh, I see.
The altimeter is the one that looks like a clock. Second one over.
Oh, okay, right.
One.
Yeah.
It's pretty basic instruments. They haven't changed these instruments since the 40s.
I see. And is it the same way you pull the thing
pull to go up?
To go up,
push to go down and turn sideways. I mean,
just like a car. Yeah.
And that's the iPad holder.
Oh, right. You put the iPad right there.
Right in the middle of that.
This is for the GPS and the maps, right?
And it acts as an altimeter. It acts as any instrument you want because the GPS
you can
tell altitude. It'll replace any instrument, so you have redundancy, and it's a lifesaver. The iPad.
And it's got AC too. Is that AC?
No, that's just a vent. When you get up higher, it gets cooler. You turn a knob and it lets air in the top.
I see. That's cool. And you can warm up the plane with the engine heat or something.
There's a pull, one of those things that says pull for heat. The ones on the bottom, the row at the bottom with the 3.
Yeah.
Pull air, pull heat, and pull defrost.
Look at that. And this is 1978, right? You said.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got music jack too.
Yeah, and noise canceling headphones for force.
What is this?
That's the door release to lock and open the door.
Oh, it's a lock. Okay, so you
Door's locked. Door is open.
Yeah, yeah. Look at that. Even the ashtray.
Yeah.
From back in the days. And what are these buttons here?
Those are circuit breakers in case there's a short. It trips. Same as a house circuit breaker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like in motorhomes, it trips like this, and then you put. And if there's a short, and then you reset.
You just push it back. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's pretty cool. And this is.
That's the antenna. That's the antenna.
Oh, to talk to the.
There's 2 for communications and there's 2 for navigation. There's 4
so,
the antennas.
Okay. So what are the terms? How do you before you land? What do you say to the airport?
You say,
Roger,
you tell them how far away.
Roger, 19.
Roger, 2011 is 15 miles west, inbound for landing. And then they tell you which runway, and then you say, no one says Roger. You're just supposed to repeat your call sign as an acknowledgement. So they say, clear to land runway 19, make 5-mile final, and you say 011, the last 3 digits, and then.
Cool. And then, when was the last time you flew one? You flew your plane?
I flew about a month ago with Michelle and her dog.
Oh, okay.
He just flew up to make sure the dog was comfortable flying. He had the time of his life.
He did?
Yeah, he looked around for a while, went to sleep in the back seat. He was so
really
happy.
Where'd you fly?
Just up to Mesquite. So that just because we were going to fly to Salt Lake City the following week, but the weather didn't let us. We wanted to test the dog on a short trip first.
That's so sweet. Wow, look at that. And what is that compartment? There's like something on top here.
That's the air scoop. That opens up so I can't reach in. But if you turn that opens up so the air
flows inside
into the cabin.
Yeah, like a ventilation.
So it comes through the ventilation. Like
yeah. Look at that. It's got 2 antennas too.
Here, see if I'll open that for you. See?
It's all manual, huh? Like that.
That's this little knob scoops it in, and then you just close it like this when you don't want the air.
I see.
Now it's closed.
Sweet. This is so cool.
Everything is primitive.
But it works, as long as it works, right? That's the main thing.
It flies like crazy. I love it. It's
smooth.
It's so nice to be up. Yeah, so nice to be up by yourself.
You never had any work done or anything on the engine or anything?
Well, every year by law you have to have it all opened up and exposed and checked for corrosion and have everything checked
for safety, right?
So they take the whole engine compartment apart once a year.
I see. This is lights.
Strobes and lights. Position lights are the colored ones, and those are strobe. That's a strobe, and that's a green position light, and there's a red position light on the other one. So when you see a plane lights in the sky, you can tell which direction it's going by where the red and the green.
And that's the exhaust. Is that the muffler?
Yep. They don't use a muffler because they get better efficiency. But
yeah. Muffler usually takes more gas, right?
This is the propeller, the air. This is the air cleaner and the air intake.
Look at that. And the suspension, right? Is that the suspension?
Yeah, and that gear retracts when it's in flight. All the gear is gone.
Yeah, it just closes. Yeah.
So the thing is completely flat.
It's like a car, essentially. Three-wheel car. And the wheels on the wings too, right? They go into
they flip inside.
into the wing.
Yeah, there's a big hole. There's a big hole on the inboard. If you go under, there's a giant hole under there for the wheels to go into.
Is it safe to turn this?
You have to turn it only in one direction. I'll
yeah?
tell you which one. You can turn it. You can turn it this way.
Oh, I see.
Because it breaks the carbon on the vacuum pump if you turn it backwards. But yeah, you can turn it.
That's pretty cool.
You can feel the compression when you turn it. Each cylinder gets hard to turn, and then it goes through the valve opens and it gets easy.
It's all carbon fiber, right?
That's aluminum.
But this is carbon fiber?
That's some kind of fiberglass. Yeah, that's fiberglass. The wings are all metal.
Jay, what is that you said?
That's the self-serve gas pumps. You can pull up and pump your own gas.
Just like a car gas pump.
Right. Not many airports have self-serve. It's a bargain. A lot of them have trucks.
And it's $5.83 per gallon.
Yes.
And it's almost like gasoline for cars.
It's 100 octane. It's the same as car gas, except it's blue in color, so you know you're getting the right gas, and it's 100 octane.
It's blue in color.
Well, so you know that someone didn't sneak the wrong gas in.
Yeah, because it could blow up the engine.
All gases are color coded. Actually, if you look at the gas station, the gas is color coded, but you never see it because it goes straight into your tank.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
That's how they tell the gases apart.
And you also mentioned that your pilot license does not allow you to fly one of these, right? Because it's got two jet engines.
Right.
And for every upgrade in the plane, you have to get a
that one
different
has two
license.
propellers. I can't fly that one either.
I see.
If you're going to fly a multi-engine, you have to take a multi-engine course. And
So John Travolta flies airplanes.
He flies everything though. He can fly 747s. He has
How is that? Is he like an addict or something?
Yeah, he's first of all, he's got the money. You know, I think it costs almost $3,000 an hour to train in a jet, and you need 40 or 50 hours of training. So that's already what, $170,000 in just the time to rent the airplane. So
that's insane.
Of course, he owns two of his own, so he has it easy.
Really? So this is
This is
Las Vegas Air Terminal.
Small private aviation and small commercial airport. This is the terminal where we are. Is that building right over there? Yeah. And then I'm parked. We walked outside and we walked down, and I'm parked right over there under those two white bars. Right in front of my nail, there's two white. Those are the shade hangers.
Yeah. And you live right nearby.
Yeah, I live right over here. You can.
So it's like literally 5 minutes away.
I can walk to it.
You can walk to your plane.
Yes.
Or park your car right under it.
Yes.
Like in that hangar. It is morning of Tuesday, August 28th. And it's about close to 11 o'clock in the morning. I am heading out. I'm leaving Las Vegas and I'm heading out to Phoenix, Arizona. And I have a couch surfing host by the name Christopher. He's going to be hosting me. He actually, invited me, seeing my message, that I'm coming to Phoenix, Arizona. He actually lives in Glendale, which is about 18 minutes away from Phoenix. But he was the closest to the center of Phoenix out of all couch surfers in near that area. There were actually 3 or 4 invitations from couch surfing hosts in that area who were sending me invitations saying, hey, come stay with us, come stay with us. But he's the closest one because, it's tragically for the Truthers Project, the closest to the center is the best, because this way I can just head out there in the beginning of the day and just start walking around filming. Anyways, what was Las Vegas like? I mean, it's incredible. I mean, if not for my hosts, really great. I mean, they're really we became really fast friends. Michelle and her friend Jay. Jay is from New York originally, and it has been spectacular. I mean, if not for them, it's probably going to be really hard and next to impossible to film in Las Vegas because there's so many tourists. It's just insane. It's it's really hard to find the places where the locals are, so we basically just headed out to parks and local malls and whatnot, areas where there would be walking traffic for the locals. Michelle has been wonderful, wonderful. Really, she's sensitive. She's kind. It's like, you know, having a mother. It's like, you know, you are here, home away from home, and like she's like a mother to you. Like, and she has a dog, Moses. You know, he was one of the, you know, receivers of the Bible, the Torah, and everything like that. He's Jewish. So is Jay, by the way. He's tall. You know, he probably played basketball in his youth. Very tall, very attentive, talkative. He talks so much, it's like there is no tomorrow. So, like, you know, he's like encyclopedia of everything. Like, he gave me so many pointers about Las Vegas and everything. You will be listening to it pretty soon. So, and yeah, we moved the bed that I was staying on, so that the head points north. Why north? Because that's the healthiest way to sleep, my friends. And if you're sleeping any other direction, your head pointing south, west, east, whatever, it's not the most healthy, and you don't get really interesting dreams. And dreams are important to me, and I think to you as well. But it's your discovery. You have to, you know, pretty much discover it yourself.